green coffee. But first, let's take a look at the chat that I had with Justin Clifton. Joining me at the Bonfire Coffee is Justin Clifton. He is the Executive Director of 5 Points Film Festival. Thanks for having coffee with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So you're the Executive Director of the 5 Points Film Festival.
Correct.
Which is this incredible festival.
Yeah, it's a festival. It's really based on an adventure lifestyle. It was started here. We're entering into our 5th festival this year. So it's fairly new on the scene, but has quickly become kind of this world-renowned festival of mountain enthusiasts, and kind of all of the leading adventurers and explorers from around the world descend on Carbondale each year to celebrate this lifestyle and to celebrate it through film.
So what got you started at 5 Points? Are you an adventure guy?
I am an adventure guy. I grew up, kind of in the Grand Canyon as my wilderness, but have always had a love for film, and I've spent the last 6 years working for Mountain Film and Telluride.
Oh,
so
okay.
I've been in the film world for quite a while, and I came to 5 Point last year and absolutely just fell in love with the festival, fell in love with Carbondale, and immediately called up Julie Kennedy, our founder,
Yep.
and said, what are your plans for next year?
Seriously?
And we started talking, and one thing led to another, and before I knew it, I left Telluride, moved to Carbondale, and started working for 5 Point.
Oh, that is, I love stories like that, where you just get completely inspired. I saw 5 Points last year, the kids program.
The kids program, yeah.
And I actually have a student that was in the kids program. She had 2 films.
Oh, really?
Allison, I don't know if you remember. She's this adventure girl, The Adventures in Aliya.
Oh yeah, Allison came.
Allison yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Allison Teal, yeah, she's fantastic.
That's
she's actually a good friend of mine. She lives in Hawaii. She's kind of all over the place.
Exactly. I taught her acting when she was a little girl.
Yeah.
So it was fantastic to see her films at the festival. So there's so many adventurous and incredible programs that you brought now to 5 Points.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the whole weekend is really kind of geared around community. It's the idea of bringing everybody together in a meaningful way with the outdoors. So the daytime's really pretty free for people to get outside and get after it. And that time of year, the festival dates this year, April 26th through the 29th. That time of year, it's ideal for backcountry skiing. The rivers are starting to come in.
Exactly.
The fishing is fantastic. You can mountain bike Red Hill. So we really encourage people to get outside, and then at night, we all come together and experience the films. But we have a few other programs that we kind of throw in, like the kids program that you mentioned.
That's right. And you have a scholarship.
We have a Dream Scholarship program. It's called the Dream Project, which is a program which is completely designed to get kids to dream big and dare to achieve their dreams. And the idea behind it is for kids to really think through what it is that they want to do in their lives, and what is some goal that they want to set for themselves that's pretty daring and puts them in an uncomfortable place. And we want to help them achieve that, and we do so by giving away these scholarships, and they're $1,500 scholarships, and we give them away to 5 kids throughout the Roaring Fork Valley.
And there's an application online.
Applications
online.
online.
I'm just staring because I'm thinking to myself, I should just go on and do this as...
And just apply yourself? Yeah, absolutely.
Because
you could pass as a high school student, absolutely.
But even thank you. But just that whole idea of like, what is it that you want to do? And I always say, like, the kids in this valley are so remarkable because the idea, like, they just jump off cliffs.
Yeah.
So risk to them is, it's not just what am I trying to say here? They really are focused in their risk taking and what goes next, because they're jumping off cliffs, like they're life and death here. I grew up in the city.
Yeah.
So like.
Well, and here you have access to such amazing adventurous people, so it's kind of second nature in many ways. You have these mentors and people that really do get after it. I mean, you can't swing a cat around here without. This is a term from Telluride. It's a really bad term. You should probably cut that out of the whole interview.
I just got back from skiing Telluride.
But you can't throw a snowball without hitting, an adventure photographer, a professional skier, something in this valley. And
it's remarkable.
They really do have access to incredible people. And the idea is to get kids to think through their ideas and to foster those skills to make these things happen for themselves. And last year we gave away 3 of these scholarships.
So what are some of the things that they do?
Let's see, the 3 students last year were fantastic. We had this kid, Weaver Frolicker.
I taught him acting too.
You taught him acting as well. Well, Weaver had gone to Uganda on a trip in 2010 and had fallen in love with it, but he had noticed that there are these amazing rivers there that were being dammed up. And he wanted to go back and kayak in those rivers before the flow completely stopped. And so his dream was to go back and kayak in these rivers, and we made that dream happen for him last year.
And then do you shoot it as well? Does that become
It's up to the students of how they want to document it. I believe he came back with some photography, but not a film or anything.
Wow.
That was just one of the stories. And each of the stories, they have a component of giving back as well. And while Weaver was there, he worked in a malaria clinic and traveled around to different villages, working on kind of malaria.
Right.
Really trying to eradicate malaria, giving out nets and things like that.
Wow. And how old is Weaver now?
He's a senior in high school.
Is he a senior in high school? Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. I must have known him when he was like in 7th grade.
And we sent another senior last year, JJ Worley. She went down on Spanish immersion. And then the 3rd student that we sent is this kid named Drew Bear, and he actually took his entire dream scholarship and put it into an outdoor program at Bridges High School and took upwards of 45 kids on hut trips this past winter.
Oh my God.
And it's just that idea of giving back and giving other kids this love for the mountains and this appreciation for this amazing place.
And that these are the people that are going to be our future.
Exactly. And I like to refer to this as being kind of on the front end of activism, so it's the idea that if you can connect people to a place, if you can get somebody to care deeply about our mountains or the rivers or some aspect of the natural world, that they'll spend their lives fighting to protect that thing and what it might be. It could be a butterfly. It could be, it could be really anything. And if you can work to connect people to that on the front end, they'll work their entire life to protect that. And
so where did you learn that? Who was your inspiration?
Oh man, I had so many growing up, but I would have to say my grandfather more than anybody was my inspiration growing up. He would take my brother and I out and kind of get us out into the wilderness.
This was in Arizona?
In Arizona, and I grew up in Flagstaff, and we'd go on these crazy adventures with my grandfather, and that was really where I learned kind of that love for being outside and exploring places and not really being afraid to get away from what's comfortable. And
I think that's the key. I
Yeah.
think that's the key is learning not to be afraid of that.
Exactly.
And your films at 5 Points offer that. They inspire, they uplift, it's not just, so often you just see a film and you remember for a day, but some of the films that I saw there, they keep that adrenaline going inside you. They keep that dream of I can do that.
Yeah, and the films that we really go for, it's not so much to see somebody huck themselves off a cliff.
No, they're not
it's
like that.
It's really to get to that authentic heart of what drives people and what gets you up in the morning and what keeps you going. That's the essence of what we want to do. And when you put all of these short films together in a single block, you create a much larger story. You show that there's this breadth of individuals out there with a diversity of backgrounds doing amazing things, and hopefully that inspires the audience the next day to get out and go do these things.
So 2 questions. You said you love film. Are you a filmmaker as well?
I'm not a filmmaker. I studied film in college, and I've done a lot of editing work, but I'm not a filmmaker. I don't go out and shoot myself.
And then
I'm more of a curator. I'm a storyteller curator in that sense.
Right, because that's this whole being you have to put it together in an order and in a way to tell that perfect story.
I work with unbelievably amazing, talented people. Julie Kennedy, our founder, has an incredible creative vision for this. We have this young kid, Jake Marty, who came on. He's our program director, and he's amazing, fresh out of college. And you would think this guy's worked professionally for years. He's on it, he's dialed, and to have a team like that is amazing. And then everybody in the community that come together to help put this on. I mean, our sponsors locally, Bethel Party Rentals, Alchemy Audiovisual. I mean, it's amazing to see how this community just comes together to make this really happen. It's pretty tremendous.
Yeah. So again, oh, no, I want to ask my other question before
Yeah.
I say again when the dates are. So can you distill your essence of what wakes you up in the morning?
Oh man, to distill that would be really hard.
I mean, because you said there's so many incredible mosaic, mosaic of
there
things.
are.
What
What really gets me up in the morning is knowing that every day I'm helping people tell their stories and getting those stories out there and inspiring, an untold number of people to get out and kind of build their own stories. We have a wonderful film in the lineup this year, and it ends very simple with this line, which is, "Did you enjoy your story?" And it's that idea that every day we're given this opportunity to live a very kind of pure day, and we won't get this chance again.
No.
Tomorrow we're given another chance, but we won't get this one right here again.
Exactly.
And so you do the best that you can with it, and that's what gets me up every day is just that idea that we're given something fresh every day.
Thank you for giving me this moment and
Absolutely.
your time. Repeat that again for me again. What
Which
the
part?
end of the film says.
Oh, did you enjoy your story?
Did you enjoy your story?
Yep.
That was really fabulous. So again, the dates are
April 26th through the 29th.
here in Carbondale.
Here in Carbondale, it takes place at the
Right
community
there
center.
at the community, right.
Yeah.
And I'm just, thank you for enriching our community and being a part of it and moving over.
Thank you.
From,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thanks. Will you come back and have more coffee with me?
Sure. Absolutely. I might vibrate out of the chair with more coffee, but
It was such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for being
absolutely.
on
Thank
the
you.
bus.